So when I said no for the first time, I didn't feel selfish. Felt ashamed. I want to spend time with my family without anyone expecting shit from me. Parang wala nang silbi yung pagod mo kung wala kang maibigay. Hey guys, this is Dee. Welcome back to my channel. You're watching at Do Not Know Everything. If you're watching this from anywhere in the world, chances are you already know what life abroad looks like on the outside. Stable income, independence, opportunity. But once you're actually living it, you realize the experience goes far deeper than photos, remittances, or even job titles. Today, I want to talk about life overseas without exaggeration and without drama. Just the reality of what it feels like to live far from home, carry responsibility, and keep going even when nobody sees the weight you're holding. So, if you're working abroad right now, this will feel familiar. If you're planning to leave, this might give you a little perspective. So, yalla, let's start. So, when you work overseas, your role changes, even if nobody says it out loud. You're no longer just a son, a daughter, sibling, or a friend. You become the one who can help. Every message feels indirect but clear. Baka pwede kung okay lang, kung may extra pautang, padala ka naman. And the hardest part isn't sending money. It's realizing that once people get used to you helping, not helping feels like betrayal. I remember getting my first paycheck abroad. It looked good on paper until food, transport, medicines, and bills were paid. By the time everything was settled, what remained wasn't abundance. It was survival with a little breathing room with 5 people inside that you have to share. So when I said no for the first time, I didn't feel selfish. I felt ashamed. Hindi dahil ayaw kong tumulong, kundi dahil pakiramdam ko kailangan ko munang maubos. Like empty zero bago ako pwedeng huminto. Na dapat ibigay ko lahat. Because it comes from expectations. And expectations don't see exhaustion. Hindi nila nakikita yung paghihirap mo. They don't see you adjusting to a culture you didn't grow up with. The food, the rules, the way people talk to you, the way you always have to be careful. All they see is what you are outside the Philippines or outside wherever home is. And in their mind, that automatically means you're doing well. Like, if you just post a photo eating out or enjoying one good moment, they assume you already made it to life. They don't see what it costs. They don't see the days you chose the cheapest option. They don't see the nights you stayed in because everything outside is just so freaking expensive. Everything abroad costs money. Not just rent and food, but energy, mental strength, and emotional space. Because when I got sick, nobody took care of me. No one cooked for me. No one checked my temperature. I still had to show up at work because rent doesn't wait and bills don't care how you feel. And that's the part people do not understand. What they focus on is just one thing: you sending money. And when you don't do it, it quickly turns into judgment. Parang bigla kang nagiging selfish, makasarili. Parang wala nang silbi yung pagod mo kung wala kang maibigay. But let me ask you this. Did anyone really ask how you were doing? Did anyone ask how you were surviving day by day? Okay lang, unahin mo sarili mo basta safe ka. Did anyone tell you that it's okay? Make sure you're fine. Make sure you're safe. Because I didn't hear that. What I heard was silence and always expectations. And that's when you realize they don't see the adapting, the loneliness, the sickness, the quiet breakdowns. They only see the version of you that's useful, right? And this is where loneliness really hits. Loneliness is celebrating your birthday without your family, Christmas, New Year, holidays alone. Even if you are with your friends, you still feel you're alone. Loneliness is watching your parents grow old through a screen. Watching your brothers and sisters grow up without you there. To the point na pag uwi mo, after so many years, parang hindi ka na nila kilala. You just miss everything. And when you finally come home after all the sacrifice, after all the distance, they expect you to pay for everything. And I'm going to say this out loud. I want to go home. I want to spend time with my family without anyone expecting shit from me. I want to rest. I want peace. Ayoko na may kakatok sa bahay namin, humihingi ng kung ano-ano, nag-e-expect ng kung ano-ano. Ayoko na may lalapit para lang mag-usap ng kung anong problema meron sila pero may kasamang pera sa isip. I don't want to explain. Ayoko ng expectation. I want to be alone. I want to be alone with my cat. So please, understand this. Life is tough. And I am not obligated to anyone, not to extended family, not to expectation, and not even beyond what is fair and human. We are not a cash machine. We work hard for everything we have. Nothing's free. That's a reality. And that's loneliness. Not being alone, but being needed only for what you can give, never for who you are. So when your problems are never enough, you know, you already have the problems, your own problems. You're dealing with work pressure, your own bills, your loneliness, adapting to a place that never really feels like home. And people back home still find a way to add up, to add more. Parang hindi ka pwedeng huminga lang. There's always something, another request, another issue, another responsibility placed on you quietly. And the moment you try to detach, the moment you protect your mental space, you become the bad person. Bigla kang madamot. You're the selfish one. Bigla kang nagbago. Bigla kang you changed. Makasarili ka na. How is that even possible? Can you try to explain it to me how? You're already carrying your own weight. And when you say, I can't take this right now, that gets treated like abandonment. Come on. So that's not care. That's mentally dismissive. And that's exactly why during that time I learned to enjoy being alone with my own thoughts. No explaining, no arguing, no justifying myself because I wasn't sending financially. Nobody asked about my mental health. So I handle it myself. I don't tolerate people trying to gaslight or manipulate others just to get what they want. Not on my watch, Habibti, Habibi. Maybe that sounds harsh. Mm, Maybe even cruel? Probably. And that's why I'm saying this to you. If you're tired, detach. Detach from people who don't help your mental health. Sit with your own thoughts. It's gonna be tough. Ask yourself questions. Talk to yourself if you have to. May sound funny, but it really helps, trust me. You'll find answers there, not in noise, not in pressure, and not in guilt, but in silence. So, what living abroad really does to you? Living abroad makes you sharper. You see bullshit from miles away. Things you didn't notice before, now you notice instantly. Like this. You see the patterns, the intentions, the fake concern, hidden motives. Easy. Easy to find. People around you might not see it, but you do now. Because living abroad forces you to read situations fast for survival. And yes, you'll encounter some of the worst people. Kalahi mo pa. Minsan kapwa mo pa. And that part hurts. Realizing that not everyone who looks like you, thinks like you, or speaks your language actually wants what's good for you. But to be honest, all of this shapes you. It hardens your judgment, but it also strengthens your awareness. It teaches you discernment. People who have never lived outside their own country often carry a very limited perspective. Not because they're bad people, but because their world has never been challenged. They've never they've never had to adapt just to exist. They never had to rebuild their sense of self in a place where nothing is familiar. They won't fully understand this life until they experience it themselves. And that's okay. There's no problem with that. That's okay. Not everyone is meant to see what you see. But once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Now, this is why I believe in grounded living, not ego, not bitterness, not proving anything. If life abroad taught me anything, it's this: awareness is protection, detachment is not cruelty, it's survival. Peace is more valuable than being understood. You don't need to explain how much you've grown. You don't need validation from people who never left their comfort zone. Focus on what keeps you steady. Always protect your mind. Importantly, don't feel guilty for becoming wiser, quieter, and more selective. That's not arrogance. That's not arrogance. That's growth. So if this episode resonated with you, stay with the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss the next conversations. I'll keep talking about life abroad, relationships, pressure, growth, and everything in between without pretending it's easy or perfect. If there's a topic you want me to talk about next, please leave it in the comments, whether it's relationships, family pressure, mental health, or life overseas. Let me know. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. This is What Tiao Di at Do Not Know Everything. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Singing sweet song